Hello everyone and welcome. Hi Nancy and Cindy, how are you guys tonight? I am so excited about my project tonight, I can't even tell you. I've been thinking about how I was going to do this for a while and didn't want to do it too soon in the season, but we are going to make some pumpkins tonight. I know we've done some before, but this one's going to be really different, so bear with me because this is going to be really fun. So hello, Miss Cindy. Welcome. Glad you could join me tonight. So I'm going to take you back a little while to, oh my gosh, early this summer. Oops, when I made this beautiful board. This is one of my favorite projects I think I've ever made. So this is my fresh produce, locally grown sign that I made from a pallet that my bathroom cabinet was delivered on. So I love this. It's one of my favorite pieces that I've ever chalked. And I'm going to show you one of the things that I did with this is I made it kind of a portable or convertible way in that I can take these watermelons off. And today we are going to make some pumpkins to replace the watermelon for fall. Does that sound good? All right, so I just wanted to give you a good look at this before I put it down again because I can't do it while I'm chalking. I can't hold it. But you can see the back of it is raw and grubby and dirty just the way it came. Hello, Melissa. How are you? Where is Lake Stevens? I don't even know where that is. So we are going to update this beautiful board today and give it some pumpkins. We're going to say goodbye to our watermelons for a little bit, just for a little bit till next summer comes around. And we're going to put some pumpkins on there instead. So I'm going to flip my camera so that you can see what's going on my table here. Let's see. Hold on. There we go. All right, so let's flip that over. And Melissa, you got to tell me where Lake Stevens is. Never heard of it. So these are my pumpkins transfer. This is from a very large E-size transfer, the largest transfer that Chocolate has, called Jack-o'-lanterns. And what I love about this transfer is there's so many different ways that you can use it. We're going to make kind of a grown-up looking pumpkin without any crazy faces or anything on it tonight. But the rest of this transfer, Seattle, oh my gosh. Well, welcome. Is this your first time watching? I'm glad to have you here. So if you want to be a little more playful and whimsical, you can also add some crazy little pumpkin faces to these. I've also seen people make scarecrows with these. So cute. And we also have this sign down here, jack-o'-lanterns shining bright, that you can make to go with your pumpkins. But today we're just going to be focusing on the pumpkins. And this is going to absolutely happen another time. So I'm just going to put this aside for now. And we're going to get started. So as you can see, I've been busy at my scroll saw once again. And I cut these out last weekend, and as I said, I've been thinking about how I was going to do this for a while. So I made these a little bit shorter than the pumpkins. You're going to notice that I cannot fit the full pumpkin on there, but I think it's going to be okay. And this pumpkin will fit right where the watermelon was before. I can talk. Okay. So I'm going to cut these apart. We're going to get started on this project. As you know, our chocolate transfers are reusable, so I'm not worried about, just making the perfect pumpkin just, for this sign, because I can wash them, dry them, and reuse them over and over again. They are reusable. So yippee skippy. All right, so this one here, I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to write small pumpkin on here. Small pumpkin. And my initials. And I'm going to write large pumpkin on this one. And also my initials. So if you've been watching me for a while, you might know the reason that I write all over my transfers like I do. First of all, after I was, as I was saying, you can wash these and dry them and use them over and over again. When you are you've dried them, you are going to return them to the carrier sheet. This white paper is called the carrier sheet. The side that I wrote on is sort of a matte finish, and the side that the transfer is actually attached to is very slick and shiny, like a sticker back paper. So you can put something sticky on there like our transfers are, and it'll peel right off with no problem. If you happen to stick it on this side, it's a little bit harder. It can be impossible to get off. So writing on the back of it reminds me not to reattach it to the wrong side. I know, pretty simple, huh? So I also put my initials on them in case I'm sharing my transfers with others, or I have a group of people here. I want to remember whose is whose. You want to get your own stuff back, right? I'm going to zoom this in a little bit so you can see what's going on. All right, focus. Okay, we're focused. If you guys have any questions while I'm going along, please ask. Also, thank you for hitting that SHARE button and sprinkling my video for me. That is so helpful to grow my audience. So to peel these off, usually you can just roll your thumb right along the edge and it should peel off pretty easily. I've seen people struggle trying to get their transfers off the carrier sheets. Sorry about that noise. Somebody just decided to start vacuuming right over my head. So I am not going to fuzz this time because the area that I'm working with is pretty small, and I don't really want to make it any less sticky than it is, because sometimes they slip around when you have a big open area like this. So I'm just going to kind of lay this on top of my pumpkin cutouts and see if I can find a good place. It's sticking wherever I'm not holding on to it, so it's a little tricky. That looks about right. So I made these cutouts a little bit larger than the pumpkins actually are, so that I'd have an edge to hold on to, right about there. So I am going to hold this up to the light for just a second so that I can make sure that I have it in the right spot. Nope, I pulled it off. Ugh. All right, I'll try that again. It's hard to see through them on the black. Sometimes it's not so bad, but other times it's a little harder. All right, you behave yourself. Behave. Okay. All right, let's see, right about there. I'm gonna hold down on here and lift it up. Okay, I'm really off. I'm really off. I'm gonna try to hold it behind there and hold it up so I can see through it a little better. Right, the barrel. You almost have to fold it in half so it's not sticking to the table. That looks about right. Not quite. Goodness. Looks like I cut this one really close to the line. So I'll have to work with that, right? I try to cut my wood cutouts a little bit larger than the shape itself. This is being a stinker. That might be it. Okay. Thanks for your patience with me, guys. This is tricky. Trickier than I thought it would be. All right. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. I am going to hold it up again, trying not to let it fall off this time. Voila. All right. I still have to move it a smidge. Gosh. All right, it's gonna have to do it. It's gonna have to be it. It doesn't want to fit closer. All right, I think I have it. Smooth that down. You want to try to smooth your transfers down so there are no bumps, bubbles, or folds in the transfer. It should be as smooth as you can get it. Since I'm working with a large open area, it is a little bit easier to get them, to get bubbles in your transfer. So you want to just kind of work your way down the transfer, and I will use my squeegee to smooth this out too in just a moment. I'm trying to make sure that the stem isn't going off of the, gosh, it's being a bugger. Okay. And there goes the vacuum again. Sorry, guys. Of all times for somebody to decide to clean, right? I think it's gonna stay. Okay. There we go. It is what it is, right? And we are working with chalk tonight. It is not paint at all, in case you wondered. That was tough. And I'm going to be doing a technique today called ombre, because we're going to add a little bit more dimension to this pumpkin. You can see that there are lines that go through the whole pattern. Let me tip this a little bit. I don't want to move it again. There are lines, and that helps add dimension to your chalk pieces. But we're going to add a little bit of ombre too. I'll show you how to do that. I'm making sure this is down really tight so it doesn't move. All right, so this pumpkin I'm going to be using a color called papaya, which is sort of a rusty orange color. It's one of our newer colors too. And I'm going to shade it with a little bit of bark, and I'm going to add a couple of highlights with some Shimmer Harvest. So this is going to be really pretty. I'm so excited to do this. So before you use your chalk paste, if you haven't done it already, I did this, oh my gosh, I've been using this color a lot lately, so I've been stirring it quite a bit. But you always want to give your chalk paste a good stir. This one is a little bit thicker than I like it to be. I want it to be about the consistency of cake batter. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of distilled water into the paste and stir it up. And that'll smooth it and make it a little bit looser. I can't believe somebody's vacuuming right now. I hope you guys can't hear that. It's so annoying. All right, so guys, while I'm stirring up these pastes, thank you again for sprinkling my video. If you did sprinkle, make sure that you write something like sprinkled or S-H-A-R-E-D in the comments so that I know that you did, because I like to send happy mail to people who do that for me. So I pick one person from every live. This month, that's what I'm doing. So thanks for doing that. All right, that looks much better. Now I'm going to go in and get some of the bark. Bark is another color I use a lot. I tend to use black, white, and bark. Those are my go-to colors. Don't have a ton of this left. I'm going to really have to stretch it. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this. I do recommend that you use distilled water. Sometimes when you're using tap water, sometimes they have bacteria and they can cause your chalks to get moldy. So you want to be sure to put something nice and clean like distilled water in it. Thank you, Cindy. Can you guys hear the vacuum? Should I ask her to shut that off? I'm trying not to annoy anybody with that. Cinderella decided to clean during my live tonight. All right, and this is one of our Shimmer Harvest colors. Shimmers have just the tiniest little bit of sparkle to them. It's not like glitter at all. It's just a tiny, subtle shimmer. It's really, really beautiful. All right, so. All right, I think it's good. So we're going to go in first of all and use the papaya. So I'm going to grab some of that with my small. This is called the small squeegee, and I'm going to cover most of the design with the exception of the stem. So I'm going to go in and cover this. I'm going to leave it nice and thick for now. If you are brand new to chalking, I always recommend that you use more chalk than you think you need, because you want to be able to remove your chalk transfer while the paste is still wet. And sometimes when you're new, you don't quite have a feel for that until you've done it just a couple of times, and then you get it. So anything in excess that you use, you're going to just scrape it off and put it right back into the jar anyway. So there's not any waste, not to worry about it. So I'm just covering the whole design right down to the bottom. You can see that my pumpkin is a little bit shorter than the transfer, and that's what I expected. All right, so that is down. And I'm going to scrape it pretty clean. So all I'm doing is going back over the whole design and scooping off the excess and putting it right back in the jar. It's really easy. It's kind of like buttering toast. That's always my comparison. All right, this is going to be so pretty. All right, so while that is still wet, I'm going to quickly go in and grab a little bit of that brown. And I'm going to kind of put it along the little what do you call it? What would you call that? A little, like a fold in the pumpkin? Not a fold, what would you call that? A little divot where the pumpkin goes right here. And I'm also going to go up around the top edge a little bit. And anywhere that I have those little lines that go down. What would you call those little things? I have no idea. I'm also going to go around the edge just a little bit with the chocolate. This is not chocolate, it's bark. I always want to call it chocolate. I think it was called something to do with that at one time. And it just looks like chocolate pudding. It's a really pretty color. And it looks delicious. Alright, so now that I've got that on, I'm going to dampen my finger just a tiny little bit with my water. Tap my finger off on the paper towel. And I'm going to blend the brown into the papaya. And this is what's going to give it lots and lots of dimension. This part's going to be covered down here by another pumpkin, so I'm not going to get too crazy there. I'm just blending it in little circular motions. There's more dark up by the stem, so I'm just going to let that go a little thicker. And then I'm going to go back in, where'd that little squeegee go, and do the stem also. I'm working pretty quickly now. I don't want that papaya to dry. There's our brown stem. And I'm going to highlight just a tiny little bit with that gold shimmer right in the center of the pumpkin sections. Because that's where the light would naturally hit here. Okay, and again, I'm going to wet my finger. And just do those little circular motions all the way down. My papaya feels a little dry right now. Yikes. You know what? If it doesn't come out well, I can just wash it off. But I think it'll be okay. All right, let's pull this baby. Say a little prayer, okay? Oh yeah, that looks cool. Love it. Phew. Looks good. I think it looks really, really good. So now I'm going to hit this with my dryer again. So I'm using a heat tool to dry my pumpkin. You can also let it air dry if you'd like to. Or you can use a hair dryer if you don't have a heat tool. Cindy. Now I took out a brighter orange to do this, the ones on the side. Now I'm kind of rethinking it. I really like this rusty color. What do you guys think? Should we have rusty pumpkins? It's always a hard decision picking the colors. So I'm going to cover my jars while we're thinking about this and figure out what we should do. All right, so what I'm going to do next is do a pumpkin on either side of this. So they are going to overlap. So I am going to grab my smaller transfer, and hopefully this one will be a little easier to stick down than my first one. I probably should have cut my wood piece just a little bit larger so it would have fit easier, but that's okay. We figured it out, right? It was a really large transfer for this little pumpkin. All right, so let me just tell you this before I start this. This is the other orange that I have, and it's quite a bit brighter. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do another rusty one. Or the other choice is I could do one of those white pumpkins. I know, I love that. It looks just so much more grown up than a bright orange pumpkin. A little more sophisticated, right? I like it too. I'm going to make sure this is super dry. I'm going to dry it for one more minute. I'm afraid I'm going to pull the chalk up. going in with the darker one. I think that's a good choice. All right, let's see if we can get this on without as much trouble as the last one. Oh my gosh. You know, some days. Okay. I'm going to fold this like I did before. That seemed to help a little bit. That goes right about there. That was too easy. I shouldn't say that, right? It just felt a little too easy. Wow, that was easy. So you can see where I'm going to go over the other pumpkin here. So I'm going to use a squeegee to put a little bit of pressure down on all of this transfer. I will be a little bit more careful going around here because I don't want the transfer to pull up the chalk that's underneath it. So I'm going to be a little bit more gentle there and make sure that's down pretty comfortably. There we go. I love the dark color. It's so pretty. All right, let's go in with our papaya again, and we'll do it exactly the same way. Ready? Let's see, I'm gonna use my bigger one. Can't believe how much of this papaya I've used already. I haven't even had it that long. So here we go. We're gonna smooth that over the whole transfer. Nice and easy. This is definitely a more grown-up looking pumpkin than I was thinking. We'll save the bright orange pumpkins for another project. Okay, that's almost done. Little spots right at the top. Okay. Covered. Now I'm going to go back over it and squeegee off the excess. Put it back in the jar for the other pumpkin. I'm not putting too much pressure, especially on the area where I have that other pumpkin down there. I don't want to damage it. Okay, that is done. We'll go quick in with that bark brown color. And this is what's going to separate these two pumpkins from each other. This line right around here. I'm going to go a little heavier with it, I think. And then up around the top. And follow those lines all the way around again. And we never did figure out what these lines on the pumpkins are called, huh? They're like seams or something. Nobody knows what they're called. Pumpkin seams. Okay, we got our brown in there. And we'll go in with the highlights too in just a second. Okay, that. Wet my finger off the side. And again, we're going to go in and just blend these orange, the papaya, and the bark together. So it's going to be pretty. I'm not worried too much about the bottom. Blending, blending. You guys done ombre before? Cindy, I know you have lots of times, probably. Anybody else? Oh, I also have to do the stem of the pumpkin. Forgot that. Let's get it while we're here. Okay, stem is done. Go in with a little bit of that gold. Yikes. Just a little tiny bit. That just adds a little bit of, like, it looks like light. It's subtle, but it's good. My finger's getting dry and I don't want to wet it now. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, here we go, guys. The peel and reveal. Okay, let's see. That's pretty cool, you guys. I gotta say. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put the transfer back on the other side of the pumpkin and do it again. I'm going to try to do it without washing my transfer. That might be a mistake, but we'll see. All right, here we go. No slot of it. Oh, okay. We're working on that. We're working on those in-person workshops coming soon. So this one, let's see if we can do this again. This pumpkin I tilted a little bit. Just a little bit. I didn't want them all standing up like soldiers. I think I might have it in the right spot already. Okay, I'm going to try this one just a little bit different. I'm going to make it look like it's behind the bigger pumpkin. If I can. Nope, not quite in the right spot. Almost. It's a messy job, you guys. There goes that vacuum again. I don't know what's going on up there, but okay, that looks pretty good. Are you ready? So, back in with the papaya. And what I'm going to do is I can see the curve of the pumpkin on that side. I'm just going to follow that curve. Maybe just chalk to that edge. And then we'll go in and blend again. Please don't run out of papaya. I am so excited to get this hung up. What I didn't tell you about was how I attached the pumpkin to the board. I have little circles of Velcro that are attached on the back. So I didn't bring that with me right now, but I will show you how it's done. Okay, I think I got that good. So I just follow the curve of the largest pumpkin in the middle. And hopefully this will look like it's behind it. Grab most of that excess off. Looks like there's a car race going on behind me somewhere. Okay, that's good. Get the brown. Do that little blend here again. The lines on the sides, the pumpkin lines, whatever those are called. Okay, get around this edge. We're almost done. Okay, I'm going to scrape a little bit of that brown off. I got a little more than I wanted in a couple places. Back in the jar, and I'll get the highlight. And then we'll blend it all together. Whoops, almost put it in the wrong spot. All right, here we go, wet finger. Going around with the bark, all of the brown parts first. Did I do that stem, you guys? I don't think I did. And you can blend this out as much as you want. You just want to be really cautious that it's not drying. I'm going to go get the gold. Blend that out. the tiniest bit of light that it adds just makes it look a little bit more dimensional. All right, let me get that little stem because I did forget it. I'm sure I did. A little bit more. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's a little rustic looking. I love it. Eek. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull this up close for you guys for a moment. I want you to see this. So can you see right here where I have a little bit of like black showing through? Oops, sorry, let me go there. What happened there was the chalk paste started to dry before I pulled the transfer up, and it could be because I had used it twice, but honestly, I like the look on this piece because it really looks rustic. So let's dry it up a little bit and I'll show you how it looks when I put it all together. It's funny how every one of these pumpkins looks different. And they're all done the same way. Do you guys have any questions about anything that I've done tonight? I'm happy to answer them. All right, let's dry it up. You guys are so quiet. Thank you, Cindy. I'm real happy with how it came out. So our chalk paste dried really, really quickly, as I was saying before. I could just let this sit for 5 or 10 minutes and it would be dry. This is using MDF, which is, it's sort of like wood particles held together with glue. So I wouldn't leave it outside and expose it to the elements. I think I'm going to hang this one in my shop. All right. Look at my dirty hands. It's okay, they're dry. All right, I'm gonna back up, pull my camera back this way, and I'm gonna bring my sign back up. So restocks are coming Thursday or Friday. Cindy, I will let you know, but you're gonna wanna be quick to get them because they're gonna go quick. We're having so much trouble with our warehouse as well as the postal service getting our products in a timely manner. It's not even funny, it's awful. All right, so there's my sign. Rest it on there. And what I'll do, I've got little Velcro circles all over here. I strategically placed them so that I could put other things on this board in addition to the watermelon. But what I'll do is I will also glue some dots on the back of here so that it all comes together. Look how awesome that came out. I love it. I really love it. There we go, our dirty pumpkins. It looks perfect. Don't tip. On my palette board. I think it looks great. So, what do you think? I hope you enjoyed this. This was a really fun project. You could even put like a bow around the middle pumpkin or something if you wanted to, but honestly, I just want to leave it like it is. I love it. Your list is long, I know. Cindy, I will post the moment I know things are out. So stay tuned. I should know more today. Wednesday or Tuesday. I should know more on Wednesday night. So, I hope you enjoyed our little pumpkin patch tonight. Look how cute they look. It looks so good. I will be back tomorrow at 7 with another fun project. I've been spending lots and lots of time working on my shop. I am going to be opening a workshop studio in Agawam, Massachusetts, where people can come and work on projects with me. I am really super excited to do that. We are going to be practicing our social distancing. There will be masks required if you're walking around the room, maybe not at your table. I will be scanning foreheads and asking people if you're not feeling well to please not come. Hoping for the best. But I miss my customers so much, and I'm so excited to get back into my classes. So if you are in my area, please write VIP in the comments so I can get you in there. Melissa, I think it's a little far from you, but thank you so much. I really love this too. If you are interested in my sales, also you want to put VIP in the comments. Melissa, I need somebody like you in your area to teach Chalk Couture. If that's something you'd like to do, please put join in the comments. No obligation, but I'll send you some information. So I will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m., as I said, with another fun project. And I really appreciate and thank you for joining me tonight. And I will see you again soon. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.